So, hi Arpita, hi, very good evening. And it is very sad to see you on the other side of the screen and not with a cup of tea and something else that I can't say right now in the North Campus. And other than that, how are you? How have you been? And welcome. I forgot almost. Welcome to Let's Be Frank, episode 7. We have somehow reached episode 7. We didn't want to, we didn't feel like we will, but somehow we have. And this is to give you a very sasta explanation. This is a very sasta talk show where we have no budgets. It's only me asking questions, and you can ask too, of course. We have full freedom of opinion and questions here, unlike you know where. And other than that, thank you so much for accepting the invitation, being a guest here, and being available for the interview. We'll quickly move to start talking because people don't necessarily like hearing me, and my Instagram followers count.
Love
Enough
hearing
for
you,
that.
so you can go on.
And I was talking about men, not women. Other than that, moving on. So this question I've been asking a lot, but somehow I don't seem feel that it is a monotonous question because every experience is different. So how's life been right now, given these trying times, given coronavirus and the outbreak? You had to come back from Delhi. So how's everything going on right now? How are you coping, and what's the situation like? What's your personal experience with everything that has been going on? Just to have a icebreaker for our viewers.
So initially, when I came to Guwahati, it was just a 5 days trip, and then I was supposed to go back to Delhi, but then I got stuck here, and for a few days it was nice. I was excited that colleges cancelled and stuff like that, but then later it started getting very monotonous and tiring, and I felt stuck here. But right now, at the moment, I feel very much at home and happy. I don't know why. And I'm just scared that someday I'll have to go back to Delhi, and like it's gonna be like starting back from scratch again, adjusting and everything. But yeah, so far it's been good. I've been able to be productive on a lot of things and been able to work on a lot of things that I had planned to. So yeah.
So yeah. So, before moving on to other question, you have recently been involved in a donation drive kind or sort of, the distributing masks to those who could not access it when or who could not buy it due to any other restrictions that they were facing or obstructions per se. So what did you see on a ground reality level? I mean, what was the situation like? Because many of us haven't stepped out of our houses. We only know what the news channels are showing us or what is going on in our own state. So you have, I believe, seen a bit more, if I might say, doing these scams, doing these donation drives. So, what's your take on the ground reality situation, and what do you think that there are any ways that the authorities can improve how we are going, or do you feel that everything that they're doing is, I mean, it's more than enough, and it's just because of the virus and its magnitude that things are becoming a bit difficult? So, what's your take on that?
I think the first time that I went for mask distribution, it was back when the lockdown had just started in Guwahati, Assam, if I'm not wrong. So then I just went to a couple of areas, like a lot of slum areas as well, and other areas that had proper shops and everything. And at first I thought that people will not be very eager for something like masks, because such people, they generally expect some sort of donation or like food or something like that to be given rather than masks. But a lot of people were really enthusiastic when we came out distributing masks. They came one by one to us themselves, and asked for more masks for their children and family at home, and they blessed us, and they said that you all are doing a very nice work. So yeah, I mean, social distancing is still at a problematic stage. I mean, I did see a lot of people talking on the streets and just gathering there in large numbers, and that was something that was happening, but we tried our level best to make people aware. At the same time, we went to this particular area where basically domestic workers lived. It was in Bhangagor, if I'm not wrong. So there, we had a conversation with the people, and they all lived in a very, like tight space, and there were a lot of families there. And they kept on saying about one thing, that people, I mean, like, there people who employed them, those houses no longer needed them at the moment, and they did not have any money coming from it. Some of them paid them half their salaries, some completely stopped the salary and didn't ask them to come. And so there was just one man, and he had to run the entire different sets of family by rickshaw pulling, or using their autos and all of that. So, and at that point of time, a lot of people used rickshaws in the first place because it was the lockdown. So when I asked them that, is the government doing something about it, because of course they're supposed to help these section of people, then they said no. They said that we were supposed to get a certain amount of money in our bank accounts as well, but that has not happened as well. So, yes, the government is lacking on a lot of grounds, because a lot needs to be done. We are privileged. We are sitting here, we are talking, we have phones, laptops, and everything, but then there are people who do not even have a roof to live under. I mean, these people talked about the fact that they have to still pay their rent, but they're not getting paid anything to pay their rent. So it was extremely problematic. And then on behalf of Anjanata Foundation, even though I wasn't there, my sister and people from foundation, they distributed masks in the tea plantation areas. I mean, just when this was the harvest season of the teas, right? Tea leaves. So the work had to stop. They could not stop it. I mean, they still have to work. So there's no social distancing there. There's no awareness there. So we, on behalf of the Anjanata Foundation, distributed masks and tried to, make them aware of the situation. So I think everybody, a lot of people are doing whatever they can do in their own capacity, just like we did. But on part of the government, there's a lot that still needs to be done specifically for these section of people.
Yeah, and that's very true, and it's quite relatable. Even if we don't know what's the ground reality, we know that we, being privileged, have a more safer situation to live in than these people, and the crisis of the migrant workers somehow laid it bare that the truth of the situation was worse than we could ever imagine. But moving on from there, another very question that I have been asking these people of my fellow, what would I say, friends or persons that I know from the same university that we are studying in, that is DU. So, for you, for me, we both had to shift from a place like Guwahati, Assam, from the northeast, where the environment is different, the culture is different, to a more maybe a conservative place, if I might say, with the practices that are going on there and with the situations that occur mostly, to a place like Delhi, the national capital. So, how was it for you? Spending all your school years here, having a comfort zone set up here, then suddenly shifting to Delhi into a new environment, or was it a new environment for you? So, what was the journey like? Kaisa tha? I mean, it was hard, it was tough, it was difficult, given the situation that it poses for women, especially to sustain in Delhi. Not because for males, for men, the problems are a bit lesser. They're limited to environment, they're limited to culture, etc., etc. For you, it's more about, it's that plus safety plus all other things that come with that. So, did you face any difficulties? So, in very short, how was the journey, and what have you made of it till now for the 2 years that you have been in Delhi?
Of course, I'd been to Delhi before, but of course, with my family, I'd never been there all on my own. So the shift was definitely difficult. Like any other student, I had my fair share of crying and being homesick, and not being able to adjust. But of course, then I learned a lot of other things. We've heard about racism towards northeastern people, and I've seen that. I mean, nobody's done that to my no. Like, yeah, there have been I think there have been situations where I have faced it too, but then I've seen it happen to other people from Northeast more. Like, is the teacher from Northeast? Why is he not able to speak in Hindi? Are there airports in Arunachal? I've heard all those sorts of things. So, then again, the safety thing comes in hand. I mean, I travel by metro and stuff like that, and then I have to walk from metro station or take an auto or something like that. It is a scary place, but I think over the 2 years, I've somehow learned and managed to survive. As much as there are a lot of problems in a city like Delhi, I think I love Delhi for what it is, and I've always had a soft corner for that city. I've always wanted to go there and study there. But yeah, it has its own challenges. I've had my fair share of challenges too, being followed by random men, and then being scared of everything, just running and not looking back, कि अभी क्या होगा, and stuff like that. But we have to do our bit. I mean, stuff like carrying a pepper spray, or making sure that you're back home by this time of the day, or even if you're out at late, I always make sure. These are things that sound bad when you say theoretically, like it's not fair for a woman to come back home at this point of time. Of course it's not fair, but these are certain things that we have to do, because it's not a safe place. If I want to be safe, I have to do certain things that I don't like doing. So sometimes I have to ask some of my friends to accompany me back home if it's too late and stuff like that. It's sad. It's very sad that this situation happens to women, and our families have to be constantly worried about our situation in a city like Delhi. But I think we'll all have to step out of our comfort zone and do what we have to do for ourselves, for our growth. That's what happened with me as well.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the main reason I asked this question in particular to many people that I've interviewed till now, because there are many people, and the CBSE class 12 results were declared some days back, uh, and there are many people who will now start a journey into a very unknown territory, into a phase of their life which would be very new, given the magnitude of people they will meet and the diverse set of people they will meet in their colleges wherever they study. So, and that's why I seek this insight from everyone, from people that have studied in DU in the past or are currently studying in the DU. And thank you for your insight, and I wish that it helps many people who are watching this. Moving on, before I step into the political part of this interview, one more issue that you have been very vociferous about, you have been very loud about, is the issue of women. You have been constantly raising your voice for the injustices that women face. You have been on several debates on media channels, raising your arguments for the sake of women and for the sake of their safety and freedom. And it's a very general question. It's a question that I would want to ask you on a very personal level. How do you think, or how do you evaluate the current situation of women in this country? And I will not talk about the world because that's a very large domain. But in this country, how do you evaluate the situation that women are in right now? Because there are many defenses given that women are being given more opportunities right now. There are many developments that have been taken towards their holistic development, and all other such big terms that our politicians or any other celebrities or influencers use. So do you think that those are really true, or they are just a facade, they're just a wall created to hide the real truth that lies behind it, which is how we are seeing that coronavirus has also somehow left bare that how women are unsafe in the place where the government is asking us to stay safe, that is our home. So what's your personal outlook towards that, being a woman yourself?
I think when people say that women are in a better position than before, and they're getting more opportunities, I do not deny or disagree with that. But my question is it enough? Are we still in a space which is safe, which is more fair for us? We're not. We're clearly not. We're lacking behind in a lot of spheres. If politically I have to see it, the women's reservation bill is still not true. It's still not come into force. Why? I mean, we've seen that after the law of women getting representation in the local government bodies, there's been a lot of participation of women in the ground level. So why can't we do the same for women at state and national level as well? I mean, I've always said this, and I'll still say this today, is that, women want policies for women to be formulated by women, not by men. So, I mean, I also feel like even in political parties there should be reservations, certain section of reservations for women, that yes, this will be reserved for women, and they'll get the chance to contest elections or participate in whatever way they can. And otherwise, like in normal world, in normal social situation, we see that women is forced to lag behind in so many ways. They're not safe. When I say that I have to rush back home at a certain point of time because I'm scared of being out alone, while my male friends can do the same thing without having any damn to give about it, that basically proves that these opportunities or the place that women today are at is not enough. I mean, it's still not safe for women. Day by day, we hear new cases of rape, we hear sexual molestation happening. Domestic violence has increased in such a large number after the whole lockdown situation, and it's scary. It's a scary world for us. I mean, and it's surprising and it's saddening that so many people, I wouldn't say men, so many people, even women as well, are ignorant about the situation. They have this attitude कि oh ठीक है तुम्हें मिल रहा है, you're doing this, you're doing that, तो तुम क्यों complain कर रहे हो? Just because a single person is able to do it does not mean that there are not other women who are still facing so much. I think this
different dynamics to it.
Yeah,
it's about women plus privilege plus resources.
Yeah,
everything.
This ignorance on part of certain people, it really, really bothers me. I mean, things like, why is she coming out now about her molestation or harassment that happened to her 10 years back? Maybe she was not in a position to talk about it 10 years back. Why can't she talk about it now? It's very problematic. I think we have a long way to go as a society in terms of mindset, but I think a lot can also be done and a lot can change if we have more women in positions of power, be it politically or be it in other endeavors. Yeah.
So another dynamic that I would add to this is, it's not only the media channels where you have, or any other platform that you have used to raise your concerns for women or their safety, but you also have used your student organization affiliation, and that is NSUI, for carrying out these rallies, carrying out these marches, voicing your concerns and the entire student community's concerns towards these increasing threats towards women and towards their sustainability and their safety that we are seeing in today's time, and we call it the 21st century, and it's quite ironical that we do. And so before we move on to that part, let us know or tell us more about how you got involved, into student organizations, student politics, and was it difficult for you, or was it easier for you, given that you belong to a family that has been involved in politics? Your elder sister is currently developing a political career. Your father um, was a wonderful politician, a greatly known politician, and a greatly admired politician of Assam, and maybe for the entire country as well, given his work and given his contributions to his party and to the state and country as a whole. So, was that easy for you? Was that goal already set, that you want to get involved in politics, and student organizations like NSUI are a good stepping stone? Or was it something that happened instantly and you did not get to plan it, or you just went with the flow? What was the journey like, and why NSUI and why student politics?
A lot of people find it very difficult to believe me when I say this, but trust me, I had no plans. Until my 12th standard, I had nothing to do with political parties as such. I was definitely interested in politics and foreign affairs and everything like that, but I was not interested in becoming an active political participant. So when I moved to college, I mean, I was not even there for my father's campaigns or my sister's campaigns. I was barely a part of any of it. But I had been a debater, and I'd done MUNs, I'd served as EB members and chaired a lot of debates as well. So I was always in that zone, but I never like equated it with being a part of politics or something like that. So when I came to Delhi University, 1 month into Delhi University, I had met the president of NSCY, and he knew about my journey as a debater and MUNs and everything. So he had heard me speak as well. So he said that, why don't you come and work with us in NSCY? And I was very skeptical at first, but I said, I should just see what's happening around, everything like that. So in the first month itself, because right when we come into college, the DUSU election campaigning starts. So I saw all of that happening. I saw various political organizations, how they worked. I saw how NSCY worked, and it really did intrigue me, because I didn't expect to like it so much. I mean, I enjoyed the process of campaigning. I enjoyed meeting different people. I enjoyed helping them make the manifesto and, have open discussions about what the students need and what they do not need. And it was not easy for me, because I had never been in a space like that. And when you go into an organization like NSCY, I was from Assam, and it was the headquarters. I was in Delhi NSCY, and the national headquarters is situated in Delhi as well. So trust me when I say this, nobody there cared if you were anybody's daughter or anybody's sister. People barely recognized me as, Anjan Datta's daughter or Ankita Datta's sister. They didn't know anything about me. Maybe months and months later, when they got to know me personally, that's when they realized, oh, she has a political background already. But before that, nobody knew. And even after they came to know about my background, a lot of people said only one thing to me, that it does not matter, nobody cares. Blatantly they said it on my face, that nobody cares who is your father or who is your sister. And that was enough. I knew that I'm here to make my own space and contribute in whatever way I can. The journey was not easy for me, because I was not prepared for something like this. I had a lot of mental breakdowns. I had a lot of anxiety, like right before going, few months into the whole process of NSCY. It is a tedious process. You have to attend meetings, you have to design campaigns, you have to constantly work and be in touch with people, sometimes in touch with people that you don't really want to talk with, or the level of communication is sometimes not the same. So I used to have breakdowns before attending a meeting. I'm like, what am I doing here? What is the kya hoga is meeting ko attend karke, and all those stuff happened. But and my family was like, there's no pressure. If you don't want to work with the organization, stop doing it. But I could never stop doing it, because I really enjoyed the process of being a voice to so many students, and at the same time also talk about my state Assam and do something when something goes wrong with my state. So I'm thankful to NSCY, because I've been able to do a lot of work on a large scale that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was just a student going to college or without having any affiliation with any organization. I mean, I've used dance. I'm into dance, and I've used dance, mixed dance at NSUI, and conducted competitions with so many students, given them huge amounts of prize money, because through the organization, that really motivates and encourages budding dancers to come up and gives them an opportunity. I've done flood donation drives for Assam. I've done CAA protests for Assam. I've been able to voice through my Assamese identity. And then of course I've done my fair share of work as a student, student of Delhi University. So yeah, it has been an amazing journey as of now.
One more thing that is intriguing there is, we both are Northeasterners, we both are from Assam, and we know somehow, although we might not have faced it at that scale, that how, as you also mentioned, how Northeasterners are treated in a mainland city like Delhi, or more towards in other regions of the north or west. And we know how wrong that is and how derogatory that is for students who go from here, from the Northeast, to study, to have more opportunities come their way in cities like in cities like Delhi, to study in the Delhi University. So, do you feel, and this is a very generic question and not for only your organization, but do these organizations, these student organizations, be it NSUI, be it any other student organization that there exists in India, do they are they really working towards any kind of development or any kind of corrections in the way that Northeasterners are treated? Or are they still seeing Northeastern student community, if I talk about only Delhi, as a more of a category of students who you need to appease to get more votes in student union elections? Or do they see them as a similar part of the student community as a whole, but less privileged and less accessible to the resources? And are they doing something for their betterment, for their development? So, since you have worked with your organization for 2 years, do you see any significant development or significant move ahead for the condition of Northeasterners in Delhi?
If I have to be honest here, of course, every single party will have to, look at the vote share sort of thing. No matter what, that is the ground reality. There's no denying to it. However, I cannot speak for other parties, but I can speak for my organization, NSUI. That the thing that I've noticed within my party, and this is from my personal experience, is that I've seen them include people from Northeastern without having any hesitation, without having any second thoughts, or without thinking कि ओ इस बच्चे को involve किया तो vote share आएगा क्या. They do not think. It's an open organization. They're ready to give positions of uh, power. Like, they're ready to make Northeastern students office bearers. They're ready to include their ideas in whichever way they can. And I think that is one big thing, because from my personal experience as a member of NSUI and as a student activist, I've seen that Northeasterns shy away from being actively part in student politics for whatever reason it is. So when I see that there are so many faces from Northeast and the different states coming up and being able to voice their opinions in an organization like NSY and being given importance, it fills me with joy and pride that my organization is doing something like that. And I know that is not just because of vote share, because you cannot expect a single Northeastern student come in, join the organization, and then expect him to get 20 other people to vote for the party or something like that. It's just the sheer intention of the organization to take in, to include as many people as they can from various diverse backgrounds. So I think that is one fantastic thing that NSUI is doing, to include students as much as they can from Northeast for their upliftment. And once these section of students get the feel empowered, to speak about their concerns, I'm sure they're also able to share it and give out that energy and vibe to their fellow Northeastern friends, which is of course a positive thing for the entire community of students in Delhi University.
And that is true, and I believe this is how it should be, that dynamism and diversity should always move together, and it should be more about inclusion, and then opportunities come your way if you work for them, if you work towards them or towards achieving them. But the more important part here is inclusion and the acceptance of diversity, which I believe you have addressed wonderfully, and which I believe will give a very clearer idea to anyone who's watching this right now, who might have a doubt, who might want to be a part of student politics but is shying away, as you said, or is hesitant, because it's a taboo that is attached with politics, which is given how everything is happening in the country right now. But yes, your insight will help, and thank you so much for your insight. Moving on, other than that, we have talked too many serious things. One more thing that you are very interested in is your dance. And this lockdown, I believe, has somehow given you a lot, a bigger opportunity for you to explore that side of you or that passion of yours. So, and of course, you have been doing these online sessions where people have attended in numbers. So, so let us know about this journey. I know a bit because I know you personally. Many people who don't know this would want to know, who are maybe interested in dance or interested in any kind of activities or extracurricular activities. And so, what was this journey like, and how did you manage everything? Being a student, being a active student, not politician, but activist with your organization, and then also having dance as an integral part of your life. What was the management like? Could you give attention to your passion in comparison to your academics and your work? And or did it somehow get sidelined? And where was this inspiration or the motivation to be a dancer? So all of that, tell us, like, as much as you can, as much as you're comfortable to disclose.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been a dancer all my life, and I don't know, I feel I'm blessed with the power somehow to be able to manage everything, at least things that I love well. I don't know how do I do it. A lot of people ask me, how do you balance and manage? I do not really have an answer for it. I mean, I'll say stuff like time management and things like that, but then I can't really say why it works out for me well, touch wood. But ever since I was a school student, I've been an active debater, I've done MUNs, I've been a dancer, and I've been a pretty average student as well. I mean, I'd like to believe that. I mean, decent student. I've done well in school. Before my 12th boards, my parents and teachers were really worried because I think our boards were around in March, and I was still going to like debate competitions up till December. And my school, even though they didn't want to send me, they still somehow wanted me to go. So they were also worried. They said that you have to stop going to debates and focus on your thing now, exams now. And I still remember I was dancing at home, making videos, and even though my parents were hesitant about it, like my family was hesitant, but they still shot my videos somehow. And then finally, I somehow managed, and I did pretty well in the 12th board somehow. And then after I reached college, I was part of my dance society for a while. I think this will be helpful for the college students, anybody who's willing to go to DU and be a part of societies and stuff like that. I was part of the Western Dance Society of my college, and it was not working out for me at all. And it made me question, do I really love dance? I mean, I really enjoy dance so much. Why am I not enjoying the process then here? Then I realized a few things, that I developed an injury, a lifelong injury that still persists with me. It's in my leg, in my shin area, and it's called a muscle herniation. It happens because of a lot of workout and physical activity. So that's when I realized that my society, or I don't want to blame anybody, but the process, I was putting so much pressure to get my splits, or to become more to get more stamina or get more flexible, that I did not understand my bodily limits. I mean, everybody has certain limits. You cannot think, okay, if I go full out today and hurt myself to the core, I'll be able to get my splits within a month or a week or something like that. It's nothing like that. So then I realized precisely why, because I was under so much pressure, and because I was pushing myself beyond limits, is the reason why I did not enjoy the process. So then I stepped out of my society, and my doctor recommended me to not dance at all. And I knew that was not going to happen. So I took it was so bad that I couldn't even walk till the metro station. My legs gave up. It started hurting so bad. But then I took a nice rest of good 6 to 7 months, and it became better. So I started slowly getting back into dance. I did my workshops, a few here and there in Delhi, and NSUI was already happening, so it was not very difficult to manage. But then since 2020, I decided to take in regular classes. And I mean, I'm trained in classical dance styles, Hotri and Bharatanatyam, but in 2020 was the first when I decided to train in a Western dance style, which is called dance hall. So after that, Corona happened, and then I'm, now training at home and doing my workouts and everything at home, and it's nice. I'm having a lot of fun. When it comes to managing and stuff like that, I'd like to share one experience. I remember one day I had this dance workshop, and I had to attend it because I had paid and I was really looking forward to it. And then I got a phone call from NSY that there's this interview on I think the Gargi molestation case, if I'm not wrong. There's an interview with regards to that on NDTV, a panel discussion, and we want you to represent NSY. And I was like, but bhaiya, my workshop is going to go till 8 o'clock, and how do I manage? Then he is like, I don't know, you tell me what you have to do. Then I said, okay, I'll do it. So 2 hours into my workshop, and I ran to my home immediately, like without wasting a single minute, changed my clothes, and then headed over to NDTV's office. That particular day was extremely fulfilling and enriching for me, because on a single day I'd done my dancing, which made me extremely satisfied, and then I'd gone on to whatever stage or media channel it was NDTV, but that didn't matter. The fact that I was able to debate also, it was really an enriching, do something that I really love on the same day at such at such a level was really, really enriching for me. So somehow the entire balance of being a student, focusing on my education, then being an activist and being a dancer has worked out for me up till now. I think it's just because of my sheer love and
Yeah, you sounded like a very good motivational speaker, Sadhguru version 2. And I mean, we'll have to beep that part. We don't want people to come after us. And I mean, other than that, yes, a very helpful insight. And as you already said, that helpful insight for those who would want to partake in society activities or would want to join societies as they start attending college. I mean, we know how that's going to be, but let's not get their hopes low. And given the fact that we know how some societies are also.
but then some societies are really nice, and some people really like being a part of the society, and they feel at home and feel like it's a family. But then it's an individual experience. Mine was not very healthy. I don't know about you. So yeah.
Yeah, we are not going there. Societies are good. You should join them. After that, it's not our responsibility. And but before we end this, before I say goodbye to you, only for this video call, in the future or in the coming years, where do you see yourself, or what do you see yourself doing more or more passionately? Is it student politics, or is it full-fledged politics, or is it something related to your academics? You're a pol science student, something related to academics, or you're gonna follow your passion for dance? So, is there a plan, or is there no plan, or is there some? I mean, everyone wants to do something, achieve something very ambitious, become Mukesh Ambani one day, but still, those are dreams and they are fine. It's okay to have them, no matter how impossible they are. I'm speaking for me, not for you. And given that it's a very simple question. It's a very not even a question. It's just we want to know, where do you see yourself with your dance, or with your politics, or with your academics? Anyway, which direction do you want to go?
I mean, I don't want to disappoint all the people and stuff like that, but I do not have a set goal or ambition for my future. It's a bad thing. I would not recommend anybody watching it to do that. But yeah, it's normal. I feel it's fine. But I do not have a set ambition or a goal like that. If I have to, like, for future, I would definitely want to do something where I'd be able to do social work and at the same time do my dancing as well, because dancing is something that I run a YouTube channel, so I don't think there's going to be an end to stop making videos, at least. I mean, that's going to happen forever, for life, for sure. But yes, professionally, I'd want to I'm really enjoying the process of being a student activist. I'd want to explore it more, and no matter what my career choices would be, I'd want it to have something to do with social work and activism. And of course, and that उसमें तो education का आ ही जाता है. Of course, my political science knowledge is going to help me with that whole sphere, but I do not have any set ambitions or goals. Okay, this is what I want to become for sure. Although I'd like to see myself happy and healthy in the future. So that's a safe answer, I guess.
Yeah, that's a very safe answer. That's a very politically correct answer.
Which
But
I would
I
say
want
is a
to see
surprise.
myself happy and healthy, and I want to see myself dancing and doing activism both. We will have to figure out that career path.
That's a wonderful answer, but somehow it feels very ironical, given how freedom of expression is right now. But then it's then we are urban youth. We have not monetized the YouTube channel right now, so we can say anything we want. And as I already said, it's a very sasta talk show. So I hope no one watches it. No one, as in you know who. And uh, other than that, keeping everything aside, thank you so much
Thank you for
being
having
here.
me.
and telling us all about everything, sharing your experiences, giving useful insight on many things that I am sure will help many of the people who are viewing it right now. And all the best for whatever you're going to do in the future. And please stay safe, please stay healthy, and see you soon with a cup of chai. And you know what? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I know the show's name is Let's Be Frank, but can't be that frank because
So
Yeah.
weird, like I'm answering such technical and formal questions to you. It's weird.
yeah, because because many family members are going to watch this. No, I can't. I can't be full fledged Frank because it's still India, and I still have to live at my house. Uh, I mean, don't want to be hurt by tacky familial comments. COVID would be better. But saying that, please stay safe, please stay healthy, and thank you so much for being part of Let's Be Frank. A big thank you from Team Urban Youth and Team People Assam, and hope to see you soon, and hope to talk more informally and more casually, and with more slurs if possible. Uh, so thank you, and have a very great evening and good days ahead.
Thank you. Bye.